Hello, YouTube, and hello, world. My name is Zane, aka The Gambit, and you have now tuned in to Zane's Zone.
Well, when
So,
people watch you, if I may, the sort of Yudkowsky in school is this rationalism, sort of way of thinking, correct? Is
right.
am I right that there's sort of this school of thought that he sort of created?
So I need to do more research here, and I've had some conversations with people about this, and I've looked into some stuff. There seem to be these different sort of ideologies that exist within Silicon Valley. And Eliezer Yudkowsky, who sort of pioneered this sort of AI safety, um, super intelligent alignment field, as rational as his arguments are, and he wrote the book, and I've begun reading the book, and it seems grounded and it makes sense, and I do think it should most certainly be taken seriously. But there's also something that to me just smells a little fishy. And again, he, Liron, Eliezer, and some other people in this space, they subscribe to this school of thought that is called rationalism that exists in sort of these tech communities, which, if you look into it, apparently has influenced Sam Altman and Dario Amade and some of these people into their thinking. Demis Hassabis, I think in the book they mentioned that uh, his institute, Miri, Eliezer's, actually introduced Demis Hassabis to the guy he would ultimately form DeepMind with and with all this stuff. But there's this rationalism thought born out of this sort of internet forum thing called Less Wrong, where you try to strip yourself of bias and look at things in a more rational way, which kind of sounds nice until you kind of follow that all the way down. And I try to make the point to him that, like, dude, if you're gonna fucking convince people who are not all rationalists, probably gonna have to change your approach. And again, I admit I'm not undermining the fact that he has 150,000 subscribers. Like, that is praiseworthy, absolutely. But if we really want to grow this thing and get people concerned about this issue, whether you believe in the theoretical possibilities or the shit on the ground right now, I think these are fair criticisms of the approach.
Yeah,
And I identify as a rationalist,
sure.
and separately I identify as somebody
I
who thinks Eliezer
identify
Yudkowsky's
as a
AI Doom
rationalist.
arguments are also correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to posit to you, for example, that like as great as I think being rational and logical is, the average person doesn't think like that. The
Yeah, of
average
course.
person is not that logical, is not that rational, is not,
Sorry, people.
and it sounds bad, and it's not to undermine people, but it's that people don't necessarily think that way. People think with their emotions mostly first, right? And so it's very easy to dismiss that as being a
Mostly stand
a,
by
a
that.
less effective way to think, but it does inform you into how the human animal tends to operate.
Yeah,
And
very,
so
very true, very true.
and so people are going to be convinced much more, to like John's point, when you give them reason to be fearful. So I've made this point in the comments before that, like, hey, regardless of how familiar with all this stuff you are,
Right. And so that's basically the deal, brother, is like you need to like be more grounded in your approach. And there's like a gap here between this tech community and the rhetoric and the commentary, the discourse around this stuff and the average person. There's a gap. Now, I'm not trying to say that all people are stupid or anything like that. I would say I'm not a hyper rational person. I try to be, a critical thinker, but like, hey, dude, like we don't all sit and think about, things in such a binary, cut and dry, devoid of emotion way. It's just not how we tick. We move off of things that make us feel things. In this case, you're really kind of trying to calibrate fear in people to get them to move, right? And as we know politically that people really don't fucking move unless you make it real for them, right? So if you talk about this fucking boogeyman super intelligent thing, whether or not I actually believe that's a feasible possibility or not in the context of this part of the debate, I think is irrelevant. because people are not going to move off of that. It's like things in politics. You could make shit make sense for people till you're fucking, blue in the face. If it doesn't affect them, it doesn't necessarily move people politically, right? And so if these guys are serious about trying to make effective change, they need to move from a fucking technical issue to also a political and societal one. And you need to lead with human empathy, right? And I'm basically making the case. I mean, I give a shit about people like fucking Shocker, right? But I'm also basically making the case to him that this is a strategic mistake for the reasons I laid out. I just don't think enough people are going to grab onto this if you keep talking about it in this way.
Like, as far as we know, most people's understanding of AI at the moment is ChatGPT and LLMs, right? That is the how most people think about this stuff. So then there's people like you guys who know way more and can extrapolate, all this stuff out. Like I saw you arguing with that Beth Bezos guy, like those kinds of guys, right? Like a hyper technical argument that you could have about, all the different stuff. But for the average person, their understanding is not that. It's more like mine, which is I see I see ChatGPT. So when you say to people, it's very easy I can see how you get from there to Skynet. To you, that might make sense, but to the average person, it doesn't because it feels like you're going from this tool that seems to get a lot of things wrong and is stumbling and fumbling and yada yada to Terminator. And that's a very difficult jump for people to make, even though it makes sense to you. And so I'm not saying that's impossible. What I am saying is that how humans work is you have to meet them where they are, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to meet people where they are. And I think you would be so much more effective at bringing people into your cause. And you're doing a great job, but you would be so much more effective if you just said, you know what? Instead of trying to counter Karen Howe's empire of AI.
And I actually mean that, right? Like that's also actually kind of part of the point that I'm making is I want to be on Liron's side. There's no reason to because it seems to me that there's these fractions as we'll see in this AI safety community because the people that are worried about the shit in the current political climate and stuff that's happening on the ground and the super intelligent folks are not meshing well. Because on one hand, the fucking doomers are looked at, the super intelligent people, they're looked at as fucking alarmists and crazy and fear mongers. Then you have in another camp the fucking capitalists that are just sucking dick of big tech, and they don't really believe much of anything other than the markets. They just care about making money. And then you have the fucking ideologically bent fucking tech people that are so into this shit that they're sipping their own fucking Kool Aid. And there's all the and then everybody else that is kind of spread out through society. But like, I just think it's unnecessarily divisive. Like, we need to give credence. Like, if you have all these professional people that are in the space, the people that create the shit that are saying this super intelligent shit, this AI, AGI shit, all this shit's serious. We need to think about it. I agree. We need to listen. Like, we need to take this shit seriously. So don't mistake my skepticism for, like, we shouldn't do something. I'm actually making the opposite case. I'm just saying, doomer folks, super intelligent folks, AGI folks, you need to give a shit about the regular people too, and that you don't need to be fucking at odds with each other, right? Like, we should be building a bridge. Like, Liron and I should be building a bridge. John Sherman and I should be building a bridge. And other people, me and Eliezer should be, Eliezer and Jeffrey Hendon should be building a bridge. It's if the stakes are the planet and the well-being of human beings, being at odds in this way is just totally like defeating the purpose of the entire fucking project, in my opinion.
Hey y'all, this is your boy Zane, the Gambit. Thank you so much for tuning into Zane's Zone and this AI Safety Zone series that I'm going to be doing on this channel. This is just the beginning. I'm going to link a few of the channels, resources, and people that I hope you'll follow in this journey to AI safety. Please let me know in the comments, positive, negative, anything critical, any feedback, any shortcomings, anything that I missed. I'm new to this topic. I'm investigating it right there with you guys. So please let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all
next time.